thing we're going to add to this course is how to insert things from Drive. So maybe you want to not create content on the site, but you simply want to use the site to share content you already have in docs or slides or forms. Think about this as a way to share information with students or parents. So if we go to insert again, we have a From Drive button. We can also find it if we double click to access our wheel and click the Drive icon. Either way, you're going to change your right pane to basically your Google Drive. So you'll see that you have in My Drive, you have shared drives, you're shared with, all your material is here. So from here, you can search your drive just like you would if you were on drive.google.com. I'm first going to add in a slideshow because I want to show you a couple of examples of how the settings differ from the different kinds of files you might add. So I'm just going to add the slideshow that I've been using in PD. So when I click on it, I get insert. It's going to insert it kind of like it does a picture. It's kind of trying to assume the size. Notice that it's in its own section. You can see the dotted line. So I can drag it up into this section and it will kind of resize it to fit these weird little columns I have. And I can still resize these items the same as I would anything else. And it will snap to those vertical columns. There we go. So that it works okay. And you'll notice that when I embedded the Google Slide document from Drive, it gets a slideshow viewer, a little player here. So I can click the play button and have it scroll through my slides. If I want to edit anything about the way it appears, I just click on it. I get its own toolbar. And for all these items, you'll get a gear that's the settings for each one. Here, you would need to choose if you want this slideshow to auto start or a loop, how many seconds you would like between each slide's transition, what slide you'd like to start at, and then click done. So each type of Drive file that you insert or embed into your site will have a different set of settings. One thing I like to do too is you can insert an entire folder. So if I wanted to insert all this teaching material, this whole folder of stuff, I will just click there and click insert, and it will appear. I can click on the gear again to get the settings to control how those show up. Right now it's in list view, so it's just a list of those files. I can change it to grid view, so it's just like My Drive. It's just I'm giving people access to this folder. I want to make something really clear before we move on in this video. Sharing permissions, there you can see the folders in grid view. Sharing permissions are extraordinarily important when you're inserting from your Drive. If I insert a document that's private to me, that isn't shared to you or isn't shared to my parents or students, they will not be able to see it. They'll get a big box that says that that they need to request permission to the file. So before I insert anything on my Google Sites, I need to first question if I do want it to be public, just like my site is. If I do, then I need to make sure that it is shared to the public, just like we did this site when we started. It's super important. You will not see that difference when adding the files right now yourself to your own site, as I just did, because obviously you have access to your own files. So the file will appear just fine. So this is a time in which I would encourage all of you, if you're inserting anything from your Drive, to make sure that you click the preview button. Remember, that's up here. And you view how it's going to look to your audience. This, again, will not control how the files are viewed by different people. This is just showing you what it looks like. The reason I point out now is because you can see how things are kind of jumbled. They're not sized really well. So what you would want to do is come in and really play with how things are sized as far as how wide they are across these sections to make it look a little nicer. That's it for now. And you'll now upload your link one more time and go to our choice board where you can continue to explore the things that you might find interesting.